Hi everyone, I'm Ben Hunt.
And I'm Phil Escott. And between us, we have helped turn around thousands of people's health. We get testimonials pretty much every day with wonderful reversals of all kinds of issues, fat loss, people getting into the best shape of their lives. We've done this through many ways. We've done it through books that we've co-authored. We've done it through social media, big groups on social media, private consults, YouTube channel, and our big fat challenge. And we've got it completely uprated for 2024. And we'd like to do all of the same for you.
Yeah, so this could be the most important video that you ever watch with regards to your health, your vitality, and your well-being. So if you're ready to take control over your health, please watch all the way through to the end. Because the shocking fact really is that the modern world is suffering a pandemic, a real pandemic, which is a collapse in health. Right? We are sicker than we've ever been. And you can see all the details. If you scroll down this page, we set it all out for you. You'll see the rise in obesity. You'll see the rise in all these chronic diseases. We're not going to go over all of that right now. But the biggest thing that has changed in the last 150 years is the food that we eat. And again, all the details are on this page below. And that's the bottom line, guys, is that's why we're getting sick. Now, Phil, we have to say two main things. First thing, what we're about to tell you will go against everything you've been told about healthy eating. And the second thing that I think we should say is we do not want you to believe a word that we are saying. The information is all out there. You're free to research it however you want, but we don't want you just to believe us, because we've all been listening to experts and dietitians and doctors for our whole lives, and the world is suffering this incredible tsunami of chronic disease. We've got things like cancer. 1 in 2 of us now are told that we should expect to get cancer in our lifetimes. This is something that didn't exist 200 years ago. It practically didn't exist. Okay, we've got type 2 diabetes. We've got Alzheimer's disease. Heart disease is now the biggest killer of people today. And again, it just didn't used to exist. And it's all down to our food. That's why we're getting sick. The bottom line is the food that most people are eating today is toxic and just doesn't contain the nutrients that we need, that our bodies need in order to maintain proper health. We are supposed to be healthy, full health, full energy, being free from disease. That is the natural human state. And that is what we see when people turn their health around over and over again.
Yeah, and one of the things that is going to be hard to accept is how much you've been lied to over the years. You know, corporations have brought in these Franken foods and pretended they're healthy and faked studies that show that they're healthy. We've been told to eat all sorts of things that we're not adapted to as a species. And believe me, you can eat amazing food, not count calories, and never go hungry. And you'll find your ideal weight, you'll reduce inflammation, all kinds of things will disappear. And you won't need to put the money in the pockets of these corporations. You won't need to put the money in the pockets of these the Rockefeller disease creation system. You know, it's time these huge behemoths were brought down.
Yeah.
And we're getting fed up with it now. And so we want this available to as many people as possible.
Yeah, so if you listen to the official advice, just look around you. We saw this photo that got shared around recently, Phil, of, was it the end of the 19th century, the fattest guy in the world who was like a circus freak, right? And now he's not even the fattest guy in the supermarket. If you go around there, right? It's
Somebody had put it up. This isn't even the fattest guy I've seen all evening, and I've been alone all day. Something
yeah,
like that.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So the official advice, yeah, if you look around, right, everybody is sick, everybody is popping pills. Obesity is shooting towards 50% now in the United States, and the rest of the world isn't far behind as well. We're getting absolutely decimated by health. And if you follow the advice that you're told to eat, the healthy balanced diet and all the grains and all the carbs and all of that, then you just look around at the evidence, right? If you keep following that advice, then you're going to get what you're going to get. And that is sick and a lifetime of dependence on pharmaceuticals and so on and so forth. So you need to open up the possibility in your mind that it's big food, it's the corporations that really control what we are told is healthy to eat now. And bottom line is, it just isn't. So what we advocate is a human appropriate, species specific diet. And the bottom line is that you should be fueling your body on exactly what we're told not to eat today: animal fats. Right? Humans are biologically carnivores. There is absolutely, it's unequivocal. There's no question about this. We are supposed to build our body with the meat of animals and animal products, and we are supposed to fuel our body with animal fats. Plants and carbohydrates for practically the entirety of human existence have been backup emergency survival foods. And yet the official guidance that's been around in the United States since about 1918, just after in the UK and elsewhere, is telling us that half of our plate should be made up of starchy carbohydrates. And that's just the wrong advice, bottom line. So the big fat challenge is a 90-day challenge where we are challenging you. And again, we're saying, don't believe us, right? You've got to try it out for yourself. You've got to experience this for yourself. We are challenging you to fuel your body with the manufacturer's recommended fuel, which is animal fats, for 90 days and find out the results for yourself. The food that we are given today is nutritionally deplete. It just doesn't have all of the stuff that your body requires to maintain full health. And that's leaving us hungry all the time because your body is screaming out for nutrition. The food is also now designed, it's at least 60% of what people eat today is ultra processed food, which is actually designed to be non-nutritious and addictive as well. So if you find yourself having to eat 3 square meals a day and then snack between the meals and then graze between snacks, right? And if you look in the mirror and you've got a tummy sticking over that waistband that you think, you know what, I could lose that. That is a sign that you are descending into ill health. It's a sign of what's called metabolic disease or metabolic disorder. And that correlates with diabetes and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease and age-related macular degeneration and leaky gut and autoimmunity. Phil's an expert in autoimmunity and all of these things. You don't have to accept that as you get older, you're just going to get a tummy. You don't have to accept that you're going to develop aches and pains and digestive discomfort and all of these things. We are here to tell you that that is not the way that you are meant to be, and that now, right here, right now, is a fantastic opportunity for you to say, okay, thank you, official guidelines, but I'm going to find out for myself and I'm going to take back control over my health today.
Brilliant. Yeah, I from my story, it's very difficult to see exactly what is good information and what's bad information until you've really been through something yourself. And I think one of our unique points here is that I've been through this. I was very well, I was overweight, but I was also very sick with a crippling autoimmune condition called psoriatic arthritis. And I had to throw out everything I thought I knew. I'd already studied diet and lifestyle for 30 years. And I've made every wrong turn in the book. I've tried every single diet, everything.
I mean, you literally
And
wrote some of the books, actually, Phil, as well, to be fair. You wrote books about vegetarian lifestyle and how
yeah, I
spiritual
did.
it
I
was,
did.
how healthy it was.
Yeah, because the brainwashing is deep. But this is why I think that we're uniquely qualified. You know, Ben has so many other skills that I don't have, with all the sort of regenerative farming and being able to explain why the food system has gone horrifically wrong. But for me, from the inside, I can tell you that I can save you years and years and hundreds of thousands of pounds wasted in chasing around trying to regain your health. This 90-day challenge will do that for you in one hit, and it will give you the knowledge to keep yourself, your loved ones, your children healthy for life. They can be their own doctors, their own dietitians, and we give you back that power to understand how to listen to your own body and not to listen to these corrupt so-called experts that you've been listening to all your life.
Yeah, so I mean, Phil, going back to 2010, when you say, I had crippling psoriatic arthritis, you were literally crippled. You literally were unable to walk. I mean, this guy had to go to the bathroom on his hands and knees. Yeah, it was that bad. Now, if you'd
Well,
had
sometimes my knees were too painful to go on my knees, but you know, what sums it up, and the advice that I was given, well, by a rheumatologist was, well, three rheumatologists. Diet will not work.
Mhm.
It's got nothing to do with diet. It's insane. Even gastroenterologists say this. You can go for an appointment with them and they'll say, diet doesn't work. It's your digestive system. How can you possibly say it won't work? You see, the problem is people have been to slimming clubs. They've lost a bit of weight, then they put it back on again because it relies on willpower. Doctors have seen somebody give up bread for a week and they haven't healed. And it takes more than that. And that's why they're under that delusion that diet doesn't work. Well, we'll show you how to eat an absolute ton of really delicious food and still regain your health. I mean, initially back in 2010, I lost 90 pounds as well as a whole load of inflammation. And
By
that was a
fixing your
shock to
diet.
me.
Mm.
Yeah. And it was a shocker to me because I'd run a gym, I'd trained, I'd written for mountain bike mags, I exercised all the time, never got lean, just got fatter and fatter because I was eating the wrong stuff, even though I was watching calories. And then at 50 years old in 2012, eating nothing but really fatty meat. Well, a few veg back then, but none anymore for me. But still, I got my first set of abs with no exercise whatsoever. And it was at that point I thought, everything I've been told, everything I thought that I knew was completely wrong. And I've had so much experience since then, and so has Ben, with helping people to do exactly the same.
Yeah, it just works. It works for everybody. It works all the time. We've had people just ditch their diabetes medication, right? We've had people, and one of the most amazing things is the doctor's advice. And by the way, doctors get no training on preventative health or nutrition either. You know, it's minutes or hours that they get told about nutrition, and what they're told is completely wrong as well, because all of their training comes sponsored by the same forces that are at work there. But you don't have, and the official advice is, oh, you need to eat less and move more. Eat less and move more. You need to cut the calories. You need to do more exercise. You don't. You just don't. Yes, exercise has a role in your body composition and in your health. Exercise can help you to maintain good muscles and strong bones into old age, which really, really helps. But it's not the way to get into your proper body shape. The way to get into your proper body shape is to put the right food in the first place. And you can eat as much animal fat really as you want, and you
I
will
saw,
be your proper shape.
yeah, I saw a lovely meme the other day where it said, you need to eat so much because the food is low quality.
Mm.
You need to exercise so much because the exercise is low quality. And so, you know, in the challenge, we'll go into exercise. We go into so many other of our ancestral disconnects to do with light, to do with EMFs, to do with emotional, spiritual balancing, everything really to take us back to the stage where we were healthy. And, you know, it's a matter of simplification. You know, as I say in one of my online courses, it's the subtraction method. It's taking away the things that are causing the problems. It's not complicated. It doesn't take up hours and hours of your day, and you don't have to eat lettuce leaves. And, you know, you'll be amazed at the results. It's very, very, very simple.
Yeah. So what kind of results are we promising? Well, getting to your natural body shape is a very, very simple one, actually. That if you're overweight now, you will find that extra body fat, and particularly the visceral fat. This is the fat that's inside of your core, that's wrapped around your organs, that's very closely correlated with all of these diseases that we're talking about. Very, very dangerous. So you will melt away extra body fat naturally, easily, without going hungry, without having to go down the gym and do lots of workouts. Just eating properly will get you to your natural body shape. But likewise, if you're underweight, you'll find that you gain muscle, you gain bone density. And by the way, we don't recommend using the scales, because when you put on muscle and you get stronger bones, that makes you heavier as well. So use the tape measure, not the scales, but we'll take you through all of that stuff. So what else are we promising? Better energy, I think, is a really important one. Mental clarity, mental health is a huge one. And a lot of these things come back to the same core factor, which is helping to repair your gut. If you've been eating what you're told to eat, heart healthy, whole grains, right? Lots of starch, lots of fiber, lots of plants, things like beans, they contain anti-nutrients and toxins like lectins and stuff like that. All of this stuff can damage your gut. And Phil can talk a lot more about this. But what that does is that when your gut is perforated, when your gut is leaky, you get stuff coming into your bloodstream that shouldn't be there. And that's associated with a lot of mental health issues, all the autoimmune conditions, and so much more besides. So one of the things, it really depends how damaged your gut is now, as to how strict you might need to be. I mean, Phil needs to be really, really strict. I do not, right? So we don't eat all the same things. But again, we'll talk you through all of that. Reducing and reversing symptoms like type 2 diabetes, for goodness sake. Right? They say this is a condition that must be managed, right? But I'll tell you what, they make a fortune off selling insulin. And if you're pre-diabetic or type 2 diabetic now, it's one of the no-brainers to fix. It really
is. And you know, as Ben says, we're not dogmatic here. We can set out all the knowledge that you need to know about diet and what different foods do. But it's an individual process. I think people go, everybody's different. Well, they're not. Their healing journey is different and their requirements are different in healing. And one of the things that the previous participants in the challenge have said is that the coaching calls have been so useful. It's easy to listen to a couple of guys like us who've been eating like this for years and years and whatever, but it's often more useful to see the people who are doing this challenge alongside you, who might be 2 or 3 weeks ahead of you or a month ahead of you or something like that. And they can show you the results that you're likely to have soon. And it's much more relatable often, you know, to be able to listen to people like that. And the support is great. We have a ton of fun anyway. And the calls have been fantastic. You know, last year when we launched this for the first time, the calls were great. And it was so good to see people's results day to day. And if you have a problem that comes up, and there will be all sorts of you know, let's not get into all the adaptation issues, but there are a few. And we can help you over those hurdles. And you can see other people going over those hurdles as well. And yeah, there's nothing really quite like the support on the calls. And you'll be getting 4 of those every week from the start.
Yeah. Yeah. So what is the Big Fat Challenge? Well, when you sign up, you'll get access to your members area. And there you've got just a link to join the calls. Right now, we've got 4 per week. We may add more as more people join, and we get people from different parts of the world. We've got lots of content organized into channels. So we've got tons and tons of episodes there for you. And they really are around two main topics. The one is, which is absolutely critical, is retraining your thinking, right? It's hard when you've been living in this world that's pushing fake food, essentially, for your whole life. You've got to change your thinking, because if you can't change your thinking fundamentally, then you're not going to be able to change your habits. And changing your habits is the second big thing that we help you with. Because, like we say, a lot of this stuff is addictive. It's very hard to switch your thinking. But the number one thing that you need to do right now, whether you join the Big Fat Challenge or not, is to open your mind to the possibility that there's a very good reason why the entire world is getting sick. And that's because what we're told is healthy is just not healthy. Okay, so we've got several channels on there. Will help you understand why the species appropriate diet is helpful for things like diabetes, for autoimmunity. We'll show you all of that. We handle a lot of the common objections. Won't meat give you cancer? Isn't it bad for you? Won't saturated fat clog your arteries? Blah 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 blah. We understand the science on all of that, but it's very easy to deal with. We'll tell you what's wrong with the kind of food that you're told to eat these days. We'll break all of that down for you. But and in addition, we've got the Q&A library on this website now. So this is our new platform. We ran it on a different platform in 2023. We've completely upgraded that now for 2024. So any question that you have, we want you to send us your questions. Okay. And if we might deal with those on the coaching calls, the 4 1-hour coaching calls, live coaching calls on Zoom, you are welcome to come on any and all of those if you want. We'll try and deal with those, and we're going to record all the answers for everybody's questions. We're going to bang those into our Q&A library. You can browse that Q&A library. You can search it as well. And we've also, Phil, we've got a ton of bonuses as well, not least the Red Pill Food Revolution book, which you cannot buy in print. Okay. And I mean, writing this book was a complete eye-opener for the two of us. It was a 2-year process. We wrote it with a couple of other great guys as well. And it really explains the entire history, going right back to pre-human times throughout the whole of the Paleolithic, which is like 95% of our species' time on this earth. And we go through what happened at the end of the last ice age when we switched to agriculture rather than hunting and gathering, and leading up to the last 150 years when we introduced industrially processed food. And we track the degeneration of humanity in all of that time. And once you understand that, everything makes so much more sense.
Yeah, and you can get that in several different formats, including audiobook with Ben reading it. And so you don't even have to sit in front of your screen and swamp yourself with blue light.
Yep. We also give you the Red Pill Revolution book, which helps you to understand why the world is so kind of weird and confusing. And although it says it's all set up to work in our interests, why that sometimes doesn't seem to make sense. Phil, you're giving away your book, Arthritis, the Best Thing That Ever Happened to Me, as well. Do you want to say a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's something I wrote about 10 years ago, actually, well, soon after I reversed it. And yeah, there's, if you look it up on Amazon, you'll see some amazing reviews. I hadn't looked for a while. I looked at it about a month ago, and I was blown away. You know, I mean, it's like most of 5-star reviews. It's my story of a battle with the medical system and trying to understand what had happened to me. And then the second part of it is discovering what actually worked. And the third part is going into the more sort of esoteric and spiritual and emotional sides of fixing yourself. And yeah, I have a load of amazing comments about that. It still ticks away selling there on Kindle. It was a Kindle bestseller for a while, top of its category. But yeah, it ticks away now, and I get lovely reviews. But you get that for free.
Yeah, and there's a lot more besides. We're not going to go into all of that right now, but you will be amazed when you sign up. So why should you even think that these two madmen are talking any sense at all? Well, let's just share with you just one thing, because Harvard University recently did a study on the carnivore diet. This was in 2021, and they tracked over 2,000 people who said they were eating either mainly carnivore, mostly carnivore, completely carnivore, doesn't really matter, for at least 6 months, and some of them for a lot longer. And the results that they reported from that study were incredible. 100% of diabetics came off their injectables, right? 100%. 92% of diabetics came off insulin completely, right, with the carnivore diet. The inflammation went down. There was a 90% improvement in all diseases, right? And people, 95% of the respondents said that their health improved, okay? 91% said they had fewer issues with hunger. They had better energy, mental clarity, focus, physical strength, physical endurance, right? It's absolutely unequivocal, right? And this is why we're saying this works. It works every time. And we want to help guide you through it as well. Now, but like we say, please don't believe a word we're saying, right? What we want you to do is we want you to find out for yourself. So what we're saying is sign up for the Big Fat Challenge. It's a 90-day challenge. We will help you through it. You get all the support that you need. You get the 4 weekly coaching calls. You can submit us a question at any time, 24/7, and we will get your questions answered, okay? So the cost of the course is $197 for your 90-day challenge, okay? So that's the price of a normal kind of gym membership, which, by the way, you won't need when you fix your diet, okay? And we also want this to be available to everybody. So if somebody can't afford 197, then we say contact us and we will do what we can to help as well. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if for any reason you say this just isn't working for me, okay, even with all the support, then just let us know and you get your money back. So there's absolutely zero risk there. So that's what we're saying. Just sign up and find out, right? There's no other way, because the official advice is not going to help you. It's not going to serve you. It just doesn't. It's failing people the world over. Open your eyes, look around, and you will see it for yourself.
Yeah, and after you've completed the 90-day challenge, we've now combined 2 separate things that we did last year, which was the challenge and the Big Fat Tribe. And so, you can go on still onto those calls at a small rate of, what is it, $27 a month?
$27 a month, yeah.
$27 a month. And you can still carry on with the calls. And a load of people have, because they love the calls. And they also become great friends, because what can be more ancestral than finding your tribe? And a load of people out there are very isolated at the moment. Their relatives think they're barking mad for eating like this, and seeing through all the lunacy that's going on in the world these days. So we talk about all kinds of subjects in there. And you can find your tribe. Come and join our tribe as well. And yeah, sign up. And if you want to see deeper into this, we did a presentation called The Food Conspiracy. Brilliant slideshow put together by Ben. You want to see exactly what's happened and how this has all gone wrong. And we've been led away from our ancestral diet. Have a look at that longer video underneath this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And just remember, we'll just leave you with this, guys. You have a right to health. It is your God-given state, right? You should be healthy. You should feel good when you look into the mirror, okay? You shouldn't be low on energy. You shouldn't feel sick. You shouldn't feel those aches and pains. Say no to all of that stuff. Find out for yourself. Join the Big Fat Challenge, and we'll see you on the inside.